I have so little knowledge. It's really kind of amazing how you can have an obsession over something that you know so little about. Hey knitters, welcome to episode 238 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I'm your host, Devin AT. You can find me at KnittyMcPurly.com. I'm on Instagram. If you want to email me, I am Devin with an I at KnittyMcPurly.com. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful week. We are having like the best August/September, end of August/beginning of September that Virginia has ever seen. Virginia is gross, you guys. People like flee the area in the summertime because it is so hot and humid. And it has been like cool and not humid for like weeks. I hate to even say it out loud because I'm going to jinx it. Please like the video and subscribe if you are new. I've gotten hundreds of new subscribers because wonderful people like you have been hitting the like button and leaving me a comment, and that lets YouTube know that this is a good video that they should show to other people, and they have, and I have gotten so many new people, so thank you for that. Yes, let's get right on into it. Oh, before we do, I am drinking out of my Indiana glass. I'm almost always having a hot beverage in the morning, and so I never drink out of it. But this morning, I had all my coffee plus one. So if I drink any more coffee, I'm going to bounce off the walls. So it's water time. So thank you, Indiana. Whoop, whoop. Also, you guys loved my Audrey sweater last week that I wore. And today I am wearing my OG Audrey sweater. Looks real cute with these high-waisted pants. Sorry, everything's a little bright in here, which is weird. Is it this light? Maybe I turn that off and that makes it a little better. Is that too dark? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I think I like that better. It's a little bit, I'm by this big window and it's just morning. So, I get the morning light. But anyway, people love the Audrey sweater. This is a worsted weight pattern. It's a Knitty McPurly pattern. It's very basic. The neckline is the superstar of this pattern. Super quick to work up if you knit it in worsted. And even, you guys know I get hot. Like I run hot, but I don't get too hot in this because the sleeves aren't too long. It's not too long. It's not too tight. Like it's just easy to wear. It's comfortable. But you can knit it in a DK weight or another weight if you wanted to. And then you can use the gauge switcheroo worksheet to work a different size to get your measurements in the end. That's free over on my website if you have not seen that yet. Okay, let's get right into progress and shop news. You guys, there are openings in the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters that are available right now. You can go over to my website and you can get in on it. This is like the first time that's ever happened, so don't miss it. There's only 3 more months. We have, because September is shipped weeks ago, so people could start their socks on September 1st if they wanted to. All we have left is October, November, December. And then the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters 2025 is officially closed, and that will be the end of it. So if you go over and you purchase that right now, you'll get the next 3 months if you don't cancel, which you can cancel anytime you want to. And that's how that works. We are working from Summer Lee's book, The Sock Project, and I choose a different sock every month to provide you a wonderful on-theme progress keeper and yarn to make those socks. There's a Facebook group, which is really fun. People post their finished socks and, talk about things in the pattern or whatever they want to talk about with regard to the league. That has been great. So next year, I will be bringing you 2 new clubs. It's so exciting. Everything's growing here at Knitty McPurly. Like there's new products coming. And you guys get excited about these things when I put them out there. I'm going to talk about needles in a minute. But it's really great. It's a lot of fun. So next year we're doing the blanket club, like we said, and we're going to do a year of hats. I think the great thing about a year of hats is that you can be doing your gift knitting all year long, and it comes to you every month in the mail, and you'll be able to just, oh, here's a new hat that I can knit. And a hat knits up super quick. That's like a weekend. And then at the end of the year, you have 12 hats that you can keep or gift or donate or do whatever it is that you do with hats. We have a lot of heads here, and so we have a lot of hats. You can make your husband just 1,000 hats if you want. Some people do that. So anyway, I will be having more info on that as we get closer to it. But that is coming. Okay. The Takumi Pro Circular Needles. Do I have one up here? I think I might have. Yes, I do. So these are new to the shop, and you guys are so excited about these. I get orders for just needles, and that's like love. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can order these needles anywhere. You can get them anywhere. They are the same price everywhere. Mine aren't cheaper. They're not different. They're not better. But I am selling them, and you guys have chosen my shop. So that's just, I feel that. I get what that is, and I appreciate it. So I've gotten some questions about these because some people don't like bamboo, and I don't like bamboo. I just don't like it because it's too grippy, right? And yet all I sell in my shop are bamboo needles. The reason for that is because the ones that I sell are not grippy. They are smooth. So the Takumi Pro are just, I can't convey the smoothness through the camera, and just this little blue thing here. And the size ones don't have the blue thing. I think it's just the size ones. I think they even have size zeros, which I don't carry, but they don't have that because it's too small. But that swivel, it just swivels so beautifully. This is just a wonderful, wonderful needle, and I love them. And if you have bought one, please let me know what you think. You can send me an email. You can leave me a comment. I would love to know what you think because I love them. I can carry any needles I want. And I picked these ones because I love them that much. They're like the Chow Goose. The cord is not as memory free as the Chow Goose, but it doesn't bother me. It's not terrible. But they're so light. They're so much lighter and cleverer. They're so, I don't know what it is. They're just so Japanese. My obsession with Japan, you guys, is completely unfounded. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. It's not like I have a lot of knowledge. I have so little knowledge. It's really kind of amazing how you can have an obsession over something that you know so little about. It's like classic Broncos. I love classic Broncos from the 60s, the Ford Bronco. Love them. Could I pick one out? Could I say that's a Bronco and I know things? No, I know nothing, but I like them. I'm drawn to them. It's the same with Japan, where they're just so clever and perfect and just good. I love it. Anyway, that's a lot of words. Anyway, all that to say, I have restocked because I sold out of so many of the 32-inch length, which is what this is. 32 inches, I think this is 32. It doesn't say on there, but yeah, I could measure it, but I'm pretty sure this is the 32. 32 is great for a sweater, unless it's like a heavyweight yarn and you're knitting a large circumference. For most sweaters, 32 is good. Sometimes you could even do 24 if you're a smaller size or you're knitting on, like a fingering weight. But 32 is great for that. I also now have 16-inch needles in stock. So those are over on the website if you want to go check those out. That's a great circumference for hats. I tend to use 16s for hats or sleeves, especially at the top. As you get down toward the bottom, you might need to switch to DPNs. But that's a great length for that. Okay. Many of you are purchasing sweater quantities of yarn from me. Thank you so much. I know that you can pick anyone. You can pick anyone. You can pick a different indie dyer. You can pick something cheaper, and you choose my yarn. And thank you. I feel the love. Now you need to understand that I am not Amazon, okay? So I am not just mindlessly, stupidly filling your order. Not that, you know what I mean? I care. And so if you're buying a sweater quantity of yarn, I'm just looking at this yarn going, what are they making? I need to know. Tell me what you're making. And you don't have to. You don't have to do that. But if you're just picture me filling your order going, what is this going to be? And I write on there, I'm like, I can't wait to see this because I can't wait to see it. Tell me what you're making. I would love to know. Don't be like, oh, Devin doesn't care. No, I care. I'm like, what is it? So if you want to, no pressure. If you're like, this is my sweater and I don't want to share it, that's totally fine. You can totally do that. But if you're thinking like, Devin wants to know, so I'm just going to tell her what I'm making. You know, when you place an order and there's that little comment section, you can write whatever you want in there. I would love to read it. And it fills me with joy whenever people write something in there. It's me that's getting it. Like, it's not like I don't have a team. It's just me. I have Gigi, but she is, 15 and she's in school and she has homework and friends and, all that. So anyway, okay. That is all the shop news. Now on to the progress, you guys. I have so much knitting time now, and it comes in the form of I'm a passenger in a car because I have a permit driver, as you know. It's homework knitting where, Charlotte, my youngest daughter, is in school for the first time this year. So she's been homeschooled up till now. She's in school. She loves it. There are finally enough people to hear her talk. She has enough people to talk to. There's so much going on throughout the day. It's just a lot more stuff, and she loves that. Just, boring old mom was not enough for her. Anyway, she can do her homework fine by herself, but she just needs me to sit there and, like when she has a question. But anyway, that is homework knitting. I just get so much knitting done. So I got a ton done on my Stockholm V-neck. I was totally monogamous. Remember how I had it last week and it was in the floppy stage? This is the petite knit, and I'm going to blow it all the way out here because it's white. This is the Jovis colorway. This is the Stockholm V-neck by Petite Knit in the Jovis colorway, and I'm using the Knitty McPurly Stockholm Surrey Silk, which is a fun little coincidence, held double. So I got super, super far. You can see I'm already on the ribbing. I love this sweater. It doesn't have any trendy styling, which makes it a classic, timeless knit. Like, this is the kind of thing that I will be able to wear in 50. How old am I? I won't be alive in 50 years. In 30 years, God willing. If I'm lucky, I'll live 30 more years. Please, God, that would be great. So I haven't picked up the neckline, obviously. I haven't picked up the sleeves. I am at the bottom ribbing. Sorry, it's just so, so bright because of that window. Isn't it funny how it's not very bright and yet it is? I don't know. So as I said before, I did the swatch. I swatched, you guys. Like, I legit did swatch. It's not like I skipped it. And I got gauge. And it took me 2 tries because I think the pattern calls for a US 6 needle and I got gauge with a US 5. So I got gauge. I cast on, I'm working, and I only had like this much. Maybe it was more. I had a good bit of that back rectangle panel that you start with. And I'm like, it's too wide. It's going to come too wide. And I measured it and it's off by 4 inches. It's 4 inches, it's supposed to be 22 inches across. And it measures 26 inches. And I was like, okay, so I ripped it out like a good girl, like an adult. I ripped that out. And I cast on for the extra small. I was grasping at straws. I did not do math. I just guessed. And I leaned into my artist confidence and it worked this time. It doesn't always work, but it worked this time. Where I cast on for the extra small and I got 22 inches, which is the width that the medium is supposed to be because I wanted the medium size. So with this, whatever gauge it is, didn't even check it, just guessed extra small, got the 22 inches for the size medium. So now I'm following the directions for the extra small with the stitch counts. But when it says work to this depth in inches, I'm using the directions for the medium because what I want in the end is the medium. Does that make sense? If it's a certain number of stitches or rows, I do the directions for the extra small. But if it's inches, I work it for the medium. So in the end, I have the sweater that's the right size. But again, it's very forgiving. This is not a fitted sweater. It's meant to be oversized. So it's very forgiving. I'm wondering if I'm going to shorten the sleeves on it because I do run hot and I love, so this, I would call this an elbow sleeve. I do love a good elbow sleeve because you're not too hot. But then I wonder, in the winter, I love vests. I'm a huge vest, like a puffer vest kind of vest. I love that. And I'm going to get cold in my forearms. My arms are, freakishly long. So I feel like I just need more like long fingerless gloves in my life. I need more arm warmers in my life so that I can compensate for when I'm, when it's cold out. Anyway, I called this podcast This or That because so many of the things I want to talk about are a this or that kind of thing. So as I mentioned last week, and I talked more, I showed this a little bit better last week, but this is what the Stockholm Surrey silk looks like held double. And it is just kind of more organized than the Dresden DK, which is the same yarn, but in a DK. So the Stockholm Surrey silk and the Dresden DK are both Surrey silk. The lace weight one, this is it held double. This is 2 strands right there. It's pretty well organized. I didn't bring up, I showed it last week though, the Dresden DK, which looks like a kitten that just woke up from a nap. Okay, just kind of wonky. And I made gotta think my own patterns. This is the Hepburn sweater with no turtleneck that I made out of the Dresden DK. And you can see, it kind of behaves itself once it's knit up, but it looks a little bit different. It's just a little fluffier and less organized, I guess. I love them both. They both work great on these 2 basic sweaters. But for this Stockholm one, I wanted it to be the Surrey silk held double, which Petite Knit says is a DK, but I don't think it is. I'm going to call this more like a sport weight. But again, with all that fluff, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know, whatever. I used what she used, so it doesn't really matter what we call it. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, another this or that, and this just kind of happened this week. So I have a couple pairs of scissors laying around. This is a pair that I got from a knit shop. And I have seen these on websites. These are just regular cheap scissors. They are, made in bulk in China, and they look cute, right? Okay. These are Kelmscott Designs scissors, and this is the Devin scissors, not named after me, but it just happened to be the design I love the most, happened to have my name. Kelmscott Designs is run by Paula, and I believe Paula's in Canada. I think she's Canadian. And these are like precision machined snips. One of these things is not like the other. And you can get these, she only sells to like small shops and local yarn stores. You could probably get these Kelmscott Design scissors in your local yarn shop. And if you go there and they don't have them, recommend them because these are great scissors. You can get them lots of places. I only carry this one particular style. This is my favorite. And they come in 3 colors. You can get them in black, gold, and red. And I even have to go check and see if I have them in stock. I'm pretty sure I have them in stock in all those colors. So what happened was I was caking up my yarn for my sweater because I needed another skein. And I grabbed these because they were just laying there and I wanted to cut. It was a strand of this Surrey silk, right? Like you could just rip it, right? But I was, trying to cut it so that I could, on the Swift, I could unwind it and put it on the cake. And I tried to cut with these and they wouldn't even cut. Like a thing that I could rip super easily, these just, like they're just beyond mid. They're below mid, like 10 steps below mid. These, on the other hand, very carefully made scissors are amazing. And Paula, she's a wonderful lady and her husband is disabled. And the way that she sustains her life is through making these scissors. So I highly recommend Kelmscott Designs. And like I said, you can get them anywhere. If they don't carry them in your local yarn store, I'll put the name below. You can't buy these from Kelmscott. She only sells to retailers. But like I said, tons of places have them. Anytime I go to a local yarn store, I usually find these, but recommend that your local yarn store carries these. Okay. All right. My last this or that is going to be covered in this week's topic of the week. So when I was making my increases for the V-neck of my Stockholm V-neck, I came up against do I do the M1 left or right, or do I do the knit front and back? And I thought I would love to knit these side by side in a nice big old fat yarn so we could see it really easily and really compare these two things. I like to see my increases because then I don't have to mark them. If you do an increase that is mostly invisible, you're going to have to mark it or you can't see it. I mean, unless you have some trick. If you have a trick for seeing the M1L or M1R make one left or make one right increases, let me know what it is, because I don't know. I can't do it. So anyway, I filmed this little video and I hope this will help if this is something new to you, or if you haven't seen these two kind of put up next to each other, here that is. So as I was working my Stockholm V-neck down the front of the V, I had to work increases and I wanted to be able to see them so that I could easily count them. And it's not super easy, but you can see like 1, 2, 3. You can see that bar right there. So in the pattern, the directions call for an M1L or an M1R, depending on which side you're working on. So I thought it would be fun to talk about the difference between a knit front and back and an M1L or M1R. On this swatch, I did a knit front and back every other right side row. So you can see the increases. See them right there? See those horizontal bars? Very easy to see. So, you know, a lot of times you don't want to see them. But if you do, this is a great increase to work. So obviously, what I want is to get that bar. I'm doing it 1 stitch in. You can do it however many in that you want. So if I want the bar to sit 1 stitch in, then on the right side of the work, I'm going to knit front and back into that first stitch. I'm using St. Petersburg, super bulky here so that it's easy for you to see, and it was quick for me to work up this morning. And I've got these Brittany needles in size 15, which is just gigantic. I'm just going to knit across to the other side. Now on the other side, I want my bar to be 1 stitch in. So I'm going to work my knit front and back on the second to last stitch. Sorry, my hands are a little sticky and I just feel like I am sticking to everything. So knit into the front, knit into the back, and there we have our increase. Easy to see, very easy to count. But you're also going to see that in your finished project, which is why I think a lot of projects prefer the M1L or the M1R because they are invisible. They cannot be seen. I just can't find them at all. And so if you're working increases that you need to be able to count, I mean, maybe can you see them? I don't see them. I guess it's kind of, but see, there's one here too that you really don't see. Is that it? That kind of, it's so similar to the stitches. Now you can work an M1L on this side or this side, and the same with the M1R. It's going to look a little bit different. And I found this picture online that kind of shows the differences, and you can pause and look more closely at that if you want to. I personally like the look of the M1R worked on the right side and the M1L worked on the left side, but you don't have to do it that way. So I'm going to work the M1R here just to show you in case you haven't done it before. Now in between the stitches, we have this bar right here. So for the M1R, I'm going to go in through the back. Oh, wait, right? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to work in through that front loop, and it's a little bit tight. I might have confused these. But anyway, that is how you work an M1R. Did I do M1L on this side? I can't remember what I did. But if you were going to do the R, that is how you do it. And you'll see that these are just invisible, you guys. So you kind of have to mark every one, I would think, unless you have some trick for being able to see it. I think it's just kind of blends right in. So when we get to the other end, here I'm going to work an M1L. And here, see that bar there? For the M1L, I'm going to go in through the front of the stitch and work it through the back loop. There are different mnemonic devices for remembering those. I have not found them to be particularly helpful because, like, I saw one on Pearl Soho's website that says, well, if you're working the M1R, that's right and front both have 5 letters. So you knit through the front loop, but you're still going in through the back. See what I mean? And then they said, well, if you're working the M1L, left and back both have 4 letters. And you're going to knit through the back loop, but you have to remember that you're picking up the bar from the front. So I don't know. I find that to be just, it's too much back and front. But anyway, that's just a little overview of kind of, a little bit of the technique, but mostly the look. I personally like to be able to count my increases, and so I prefer this, and I don't mind the look of it. But if you don't want to see those increases, you can't beat the M1s. All right, moving right along to the comments section. I got so many great comments. Thank you so much for leaving a comment, any comment, just hi Devin, or I really enjoy your podcast. I have people who, and I feel like it's such a sacrifice on their part, every single week they say, I really enjoy watching you. Just thank you so much, because that lets YouTube know that this video is good and people like it. My first comment is from Nancy from New Jersey, and she says, I want to leave a comment about Knit Companion. I use the free version because I work on several different projects, switching back and forth. It holds my place for each project and takes the guesswork out of where to start knitting again. Definitely check it out. It's like the Hallow app where you think, oh gosh, well, how much does that cost? But really, if you just use the free version, you get so much out of it. That's great. I really need to do that. Got another comment about Knit Companion. This is from Trina from East Texas, and she says, I love Knit Companion. The unpaid version is very helpful, but the paid version elevates your knitting exponentially. Utilizing the Knit Companion YouTube page in addition to their Facebook group has opened so many tools for me. The annual fee is totally worth it, and the app can be used for cross-stitching or embroidery. I love that I can upload any sort of file and manipulate it as I need. That is awesome. I just don't use this thing, but it sounds like I really need to. Because I have an iPad. That's what I use for my podcast. I use the iPad for tons of things, drawing. I do a lot of that. But yeah, gosh, I got to check this out. I'll start with the free version because it sounds like I can get a lot out of that. Sharon says, I can identify with the consolation knitting too. When I was with my mom the last 2 weeks of her life and the week between her death and the funeral, all I could knit and crochet were dishcloths. I think I made about 10 during that time. And then I had to give them to the hospice workers and the aides who came in to help with her care, and I kept a few for myself. That is awesome. I totally get it. You just need something mindless. Like you don't have to think, and it keeps your hands busy while your brain processes the grief. And she says, the Audrey sweater is one of my favorite patterns. That's this one that I'm wearing. I have made 2 and will probably make more in the future. It is the neckline that makes it special. I totally agree. Love the neckline. Dilly Dahlia says, it is great when we get up the courage to completely rip something out and start over. I did that with my Timbo vest. It came out way too big and I knew I would never wear it. I bit the bullet and I ripped it all out and made it again in the next smaller size, which fits perfectly. I need to do that with my wisteria tank. I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to take it out completely and start over. Okay, she says, it's such a sense of accomplishment to do that and not fall into the, oh, well, it's a fail. I'm going to throw it in a volcano mindset. What kind of idiot would do that? That's embarrassing. Who would even admit that? Oh my gosh. She says, and she asked the question about the Takumi Pros, asks if they are slick or not. And I said, yes, they are very, very smooth. Okay. Speaking of ripping stuff out, do you remember the martyr, the self-sacrificial lady who said, I will fix your Vivian tee for you? And she didn't even say that. She just said, if you want to, you can send it to me. And I can't promise anything, but I'll take a look at it. She sent me this picture. She did the thing that I was unwilling to do. And then she sent it back to me. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, because I thought I'm going to open this on camera and I'm going to do it super careful because I don't want to cut the sweater. But what's in here? Annette. Oh my gosh, is this a gift? I think Annette is one of these people who like seeks out old ladies to help cross the street, who like gathers up the shopping carts that people have abandoned in the parking lot and brings them back. She's like a good Samaritan extraordinaire. Hey, Devin, how about you send me your garbage and I will make it into something awesome. And when I send it back to you, there's going to be a gift. Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is that my Stockholm V-neck has totally outgrown this bag. I can't fit it in there anymore. I think it's going to go in here. Gosh, Annette, that is too nice. This is so pretty. Did you make this? This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what's in here. The pattern is in here. Okay, oh my gosh, she did it. She sent everything back. She left off on the same row. And here it is. Oh my gosh, what is this cute thing? There is a cute sheep in there. I don't know what this is, but it's adorable. The sheep with a heart. It's got a, I guess it's like a, I don't know what that is. Tell me what it is, Annette. Okay. And here it is, you guys. Whoops. She fixed it. Oh my goodness. See, now the question is, and here's the back. Now the question is, and it's not perfect, even in the back, like I can see there's still another mistake in there. What will I do with it now? Will I knit this thing? We don't know. No one can know. Annette, thank you so much. You're amazing. Oh my gosh. Knitting fantasies. Okay. So I found a couple of new patterns. This one is so new that it came out in September of 2025. I don't have my watch on. I think it's like September 6th or something. So this is brand new. This is by Isabel Kramer. I don't know how to say this. I'm going to guess it's the Bao Bao shawl. B-A-O, B-A-O, Bao Bao. Sounds good. So this has a dip stitch stripe pattern, but what drew me to this shawl was the colors. I love these colors together, like a white, an orange, and a blue. I just love them together. I also love that it's in my favorite shawl shape, the triangle, easiest to wear in my humble opinion. This is a sport weight pattern. It is in one size, but it says it's easy to adjust. So you could knit it smaller or bigger if you wanted to. It costs €6 and it's 25% off right now. Oh yeah, it's 25% off until with a code on Ravelry. So you can get it there. I don't know if Isabel Kramer sells her patterns anywhere else, but it is it's TYPKAL. I guess there's a knit along that's happening. 25 for 25% off before September 14th. So if you want that pattern, you can go get it right now. Isabel Kramer is a wonderful designer. I've talked about her before, but not recently. I have never knit one of her patterns, but they're beautiful. She just has a sense. I want to be her friend. Isabel, if you're watching, can we be friends? Okay, my second pick is the Freyr sweater, F-R-E-Y-R. I guess it's fun to name patterns things that no one can pronounce. But then I named my children Antonin and Giada, so I can't really talk. They're human beings. They're not even a knitting pattern. I mean, Antonin Ventry, like what? What were you thinking? Anyway, this is by Inga Sky, not sure. She is a European. I just thought this sweater was really nice. This was published in August of 25. It is a DK weight sweater, and it has directions for with a collar or without. It has some just cool detailing. I love the shape of it. Looks really cute with this short skirt that she has on. You could wear a longer skirt if you want, but I just think it looks really good with that skirt. Because it's a shorter sweater, really, really cute. Comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 sizes from 33.5 inch bust up to a 70 inch bust. So what that means is, especially if you wanted to go up in yarn weight, it'd be very easy to find a size that fit you. You could knit this in a super bulky, and that would totally work. Okay. So I thought those were really cute. You guys, are you ready for what I'm about to say? It's not good. I don't have a So Here's What Happened for this week. So Here's What Happened is the segment of the show where I share one of your knitting stories. And usually people send me lots of them, and I have one every week. I need 52 a year because this is a weekly Saturday morning podcast. So if you have a knitting story, send it to me. Something crazy happened at a yarn festival. You knit something and a disaster ensued. Anything. I mean, it can be, how knitting got you through something, or how you came to the top of the volcano. We all end up there at some point. And then there's Annette who's going to stop you and be like, don't do it. I will help you. So since I do not have a knitting story today, I'm going to tell you some personal details about myself. These are non-knitting related. So if you are only here for the knitting content, that is the end of it. And I have some other things that I want to share that you can listen to or not. I don't care. The first thing is that we are getting a puppy. We're actually going in a few hours to see the puppy for the first time. He is, I think, 2 weeks old. And if I have a picture, I will put one up of what he looks like. Pretty sure we're going to name him Apollo because our first dog was Rocky Balboa Ventry. So we need an Apollo Creed Ventry. He's a Boston Terrier. He is brown and he is fabulous. So I can't wait to go see him. We're not allowed to touch him because sometimes if too many people touch the puppy, the mom will reject the puppy, and we definitely don't want that. But it looks like we're going to be getting him the day after my husband's birthday. My husband who was so anti-dog. It's funny, he showed me his Instagram For You page the other day, and it was all dogs. It was just all dogs. So, come on. So anyway, that is happening. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I wasn't ready to talk about this last week, but I think I'm ready now. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. I think it's dumb that I'm nervous. But anyway, I want to talk about my hair because many of you have asked me about it over the past year. So if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you know that I had cancer in 2020. So before I had cancer, I never had thick hair. I mean, my hair was fine, literally it was fine hair, but I had a lot of it. So, but it was never anything to write home about. I never had amazing hair. And I had 2 daughters who have super, super thick hair. So I don't know. These things skip generations, I guess. But after cancer, so I got diagnosed with cancer in 2020. I had chemo in 2021, lost all my hair, was bald. And I had the podcast back then. I even take my wig off at one point. And at that point, so many things are happening. And I was just not really, I wore the wig briefly, but I didn't really wear the wig very much. I went to a cap pretty quickly as the weather warmed up and I just was hot and whatever. And then my hair grew back and it was fine and it was short and it was fine. And then as it got to maybe about here, I don't know, it was falling out more and more and breaking. And this past December, my husband and my whole family, we went out, we took our priest out for lunch after Mass. We were out with him and it was so cold. And I'm constantly trying to move my hair to cover up all of, they're not like bald spots. It's just very thin. And so my husband said, he goes, your hair is bald in the back. There is no hair back here. And I was like, okay, we're done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this finagling. Can I turn? Because when your hair is short, you can kind of put it over the bald spot and hairspray it and it'll stay there. But I didn't want short hair. I wanted long hair. And I wanted long, thick hair, which I did not have. So that was last December. This past January, I started wearing hair toppers. And you might have noticed, people noticed. They were like, wow, and they didn't, people who don't know about helper hair or alternative hair, they just wow, your hair looks great. And I always tell my friends, because my friends all know about this. I'm very open with people about this sort of thing. My friends are like, your hair looks great today. I'm like, anytime you think my hair looks great, it's a wig, okay? It's fake hair. My hair looks terrible. So I started wearing these just very inexpensive hair toppers, and I would have my own hairline in the front, which is why I wore it back so much. And sometimes in the podcast, I would have my real hair in the front, and I could tell very obviously just how thin it is in the front. So just recently, when I went brunette and I had new hair, people were like, wow, it looks so good. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that. It's because it's a wig. It was again, what I'm wearing right now is a topper. So this under here is my real hair. So people are like, hey, your hair looks longer. And I'm like, it's not longer, it's just thicker. So this is my real hair here. And you can see it's the same length as this fake. I mean, look how it's amazing, right? Like the first time I put it on, my husband was like, you look 10 years younger. And I was like, I'm sold. So anyway, all that to say, your eyes are not deceiving you, because some people are like, something's not right. I'm like, I know. And when I'm ready to talk about it, I'll talk about it. Your eyes are not deceiving you. My hair is really, it does look really way better. And I started with toppers because it's cooler. But I think I'm going to switch to full wigs. If you have thin hair and it makes you unhappy, you don't have to live like that. There are tons of YouTube channels out there dedicated to helping you learn how to do it. And there's so much to learn, like anything. None of which I learned back in 2021 when I was wearing that super blonde wig that was closer to my hair color at the time. But anyway, I mention it also because a lot of women struggle with hair loss. It's very common. And wearing helper hair, alternative hair is something that you can do. Gosh, I've talked a long time. This podcast is going to be extra long because of this. But if you want to reach out to me about that, please do. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you back here next week. Bye, knitters.